Good afternoon, good evening. This is audio instructions for paper one. Make sure that you listen to this before you submit your final paper one. Paper one is a personal memoir. Go through old photos or do Google searches for images which inspire a specific memory that you have. One moment in time, not an entire history. What I say is this don't tell me about your entire trip to Spain. Tell me about that one moment in Spain when you saw that particular image, whatever it be. You were in the stadium where they had the bullfights, or you went to the running of the bulls, or you looked out onto the ocean and you saw the beautiful blue water. That's the moment I want for your memoir. Please do not write a biography of your trip. That's a completely different thing. This is just one specific moment. Fielder Road Baptist Church, and the reason I have this image here is because I want you to use the essays that I've assigned as your models. And every time I drive by the Fielder Road Baptist Church, I think of Langston Hughes and salvation, because when I was in the 4th grade, I was saved at the Fielder Road Baptist Church. Now, my mother was Catholic, so you can imagine when I got home, her reaction to me being saved at the Baptist church. I had gone to a party with my friends in the 4th grade. So there's a story there. This is a specific memory for me. My specific memory, but I do know of 3 girls who went through the auditioning process to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. And as I Googled and saw this, that's what this reminded me of. One girl was, she got it, she was 18 years old, they made her a cheerleader, and she was so young, I think the next year they didn't hire her back. Can you imagine that disappointment? And then I had another friend who auditioned many, many times and was never hired. And she was an excellent dancer. And then one girl who didn't make it the first time but made it the second time. She had to correct her makeup and say the right things and whatever the instructions were to become the cheerleader, made the performance team, did the calendar, all the bells and whistles. So this was an interesting journey. But I want this moment, not the entire journey. So some of you may have had audition experiences or job rejections or acceptances that you can think of that you worked very hard for. How did you react? This is my car. I drove a 1963 Peugeot when I was in high school. And believe me, I wish I had that car now. Whenever I see old Columbos on television, Columbo drove a 1963 Peugeot. Wish I had that car. Specific memories of the car. Spunky. I lost my Spunky this past year, and you'll probably hear me talk about Spunky because a lot of the information that I created for this course, I use her name. I lost my Spunky. So here is an image of Spunky being a sweet, good dog, and unfortunately her demise was violent because you can see she was a little pit bull. So we want this moment. We want this sweet little memory of my dear, dear dog. Narrative. Tell your story in chronological order. You don't have to have a thesis statement. This is not an argument. You are telling a story. Use descriptive language. Go back to the Charles Krauthammer story about his brother. Such beautiful language. You do not even need any illustrations. But we want a suggested lesson. Okay, what did you learn? Krauthammer had a specific thing about what his brother taught him. So see if you can come up. It's a thesis. It's a theme more than a thesis, and it is not an argument. But when we talk about that one moment in time, usually it has some kind of an epiphany about what this moment taught you. It might not have happened. What did the guys in Cut? What did they learn about themselves? They didn't learn it at that moment. They know it now, looking back at that moment in retrospect.